Troy, let's take a look at your swim stroke. First, we are going to look at it in regular speed, and then we are going to slow it down so that we can kind of break down some of the things that we see. So first of all, let's take a look at it at regular speed, and we'll see what we see. All right, so one of the first things that I noticed when I saw you swimming is that you have a really good head alignment with your spine. So it looks like your head is relaxed. You can tell me if that's true or not, but it looks to me like you're not holding your neck in any way. It looks like your head is just kind of floating along with your body. So that's a good thing. The other thing we can see here is that your arms are going in kind of like train tracks right in front of your shoulders as they enter the water, and that's where you want them to go in. So that looks excellent. I'm really happy to see that work. Also, as much as you hate your kick, actually to me, it looks like you actually have a fairly decent kick. It's in alignment with your body. It doesn't splay out too bad in too many crazy ways. Your feet and knees are directly right behind your hips. There's a lot worse kicks I've seen out there. I think your major issue, which we're going to get to in a bit, is actually rotation. And I think that the problems that you think you're having with your kick are actually something that has to do with body position. So let's take a look at some of the other things that we think could be a little better, because I think right now, for example, what we're seeing here and the fact that you have a hard time getting that breath and indeed taking some water right here, that really has to do with, like we said the other night, the lack of rotation. So what we mean by that is we really want our hips and shoulders to be kind of rotating like on a spit, like we're a chicken on a spit. We want them to be turning at the same time, at the same amount. So in yours, you have really good shoulder rotation, but your hips are staying pretty flat. And what's happening there is when your hips are staying flat, it's not allowing you to extend forward into the stroke with your arm and your chest and kind of your, the front end of your shoulder. And so because you can't extend forward, you can't really get out on that plane. You can't really get out, stretched out on that plane that elevates your body. And what's happening is it just feels like you're kind of plowing through the water, which I know you can feel that. So what we're going to try to do is work on some rotation, getting your shoulders and hips moving together, one and then the other, with that unco drill. And that's really what I want you to focus on for the next few months, is practice that unco drill. And anytime you can, really rotate, because that's what's causing you to have a hard time getting air. So like when you go to breathe right here at the end of this stroke, you're not rotated enough in the shoulders. See how flat your shoulders are to the water? They're basically level with the water. Then when you go to breathe, the water is right there. So there's not enough room between your shoulder and the water for you to get air. So if you start rotating more, then there'll be space. So that's the first thing I really noticed, and I wanted you to know right away that that's going to be your biggest bugaboo, and it's actually pretty easy to fix. So once you kind of get over on that side and sort of balance out on that, kind of underarm and side of your hip and the area between your belly button and your hip, that's going to get you kind of driven forward. If you can imagine sort of how a boat rides, it kind of gets up on step. You're right now at the part where you're going through the marina and you're not quite up on step. Once you get going and get gliding out at the front end, then the lower half should be able to pick up and follow along. So, okay, so killed that one dead. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, you can see no exhaling. Where is your exhaling? Okay, there's a little bit right there. But we want to see you exhaling a heck of a lot in there. There's more. There should be like a constant stream of bubbles coming out. And I think part of the reason why you don't really feel comfortable exhaling is because you're not getting air a lot of the time. You're like, I need to hold on to this air, because if I let it go, then I'm not sure I'm going to get another breath. And I also think that's part of the reason why when you go to get a breath, you're probably getting water, because you still have air in your lungs from the last breath, and you're having to exhale first before you inhale. So let's focus more too on, while you're swimming, maybe during warm-up and such, practice really blowing a constant stream of bubbles. Some people find it helpful to say things like bubble, bubble, breathe, bubble, 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 breathe, just to remind themselves to make sure that they exhale while they're swimming. So for you, that's going to be something I'd really recommend practicing, because it looks like you're holding back that air, and then that's causing you trouble when you go to take your breath. So that's another thing that you can improve. And then thirdly, the last thing I can kind of see, and this is kind of going to help with when you start rotating more, when you do drive your arm in, what you want to do is enter with a bent arm and then drive forward about 6 to 8 inches under the water. For you, maybe even up to a foot. I mean, really drive in and down, so that what's happening there is it levers your lower half up. If your hand is entering and it's very shallow, then by nature of the way that the lever works, your hips and legs are going to be low. So once you get rotating, this is going to be a lot easier. It's pretty hard to do if you're not rotating. But once you're rotating, when you drive that arm in, you're going to kind of pick up that other half of the lever and it's going to pop up your hips. So I think that those are sort of the major things that I see here that that you can improve, and we'll go over those in the slide that talks about, it shows these in black and white so you can actually see them. But we can see here, look how, yeah, your head is in good position. That's a good thing. You got your train track entry with your hands going in right in front of your shoulders. You got a nice little kick. You're not kicking super hard or wearing yourself out with your kick. That looks awesome. But we can also see that you're not exhaling, and we can see that you're not quite rotating enough to be able to really get your body over, except during the breath. See right there that as you went to go get the breath, you were on your way to a good rotation there. So during the breath, it's pretty good. And then lastly, the arms are going in quite shallowly, which is causing you to really have a lower half of your body. So, okay, well, let's take a look then at these summary slides and we'll wrap it up. All right, so here's your good things. Head in line with the spine. Kick looks great. Hand entry in front of the shoulders looks good. On the things that you can do better, exhale, rotate, and enter your hand and arm and extend underwater 6 or 8 or more inches underneath the water. So I hope that's encouraging to you, that you actually are doing quite well, and the things that are, quote, wrong with your stroke actually can be fairly easily fixed with a really good emphasis on rotation. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this improves throughout the season. Nice job, Troy.